Greetings, everybody. I'm gonna put on a little music while I get um, all of my systems up and running so that I'm able to correspond with everybody. But welcome to those who are already here. Thank you so much for joining me for this Mindfulness Monday. We have Ms. Nani coming back um, with this episode, so I'm really excited to dive in. Let me get everything going. Got my comments set up. All right. Okay. Peace. There is the woman of the hour. How are you? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. What's going on? Oh, you muted. Oh, I can't hear you. What's going on? No. Let's see. Hmm. Hold on. Oh, no. Is it a way you can come out and come back in? It ain't let me hear you. Let me see. She gonna go out and come back in. All right. But y'all, thank y'all for joining us. We were scheduled to have while Miss Nani comes in. Hey Lulu, hey Boo, peace and abundance. Um, we were scheduled to have Minyan, the herbal scientist, but at last minute she was not able to come through. But so is life. We come through with our herbal knowledge and our herbal offerings and what we come to share with the collective. So that's bad. So we're gonna come through and do what we do, how we do it, flow like water. Peace, Toya, peace. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me on this Mindfulness Monday, talking about some herbs and this thing and how they heal and all of that good stuff. We're gonna give Nani a few minutes to join and come back in before we get started. Ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time today. But if y'all are aspiring herbalists or looking to start herbal healing, please, please, please look into getting a pen and a paper and jotting some of this stuff down. Okay. I can't hear you, Nani. What is going on in this thing? Hold on. It's not working. Honey, no. No. But you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, yeah, it just popped up blue, so something happened.
I clicked the button. I don't know which one I did, but I'm gonna learn what that is so that that doesn't happen in the future.
Okay.
All right. Let's do this thing. We missed you. Welcome back.
Yes, I missed y'all too. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Listen, it is always a privilege and an honor. We like I was telling the guests while you were coming back to the broadcast that we were scheduled to have Minyan, the herbal scientist, and at the last minute, life happened and she wasn't able to come, but she's going to come on in a future date. However, we're going to keep rocking and rolling. We too, dabble in herbal knowledge, and we're going to share what we know with the people. I offer herbal blends. I study herbs mainly in the respect of pregnant and postpartum women, and when it comes to women's wellness, learning a lot about men's health and being able to assist the kings as well. But just flowing. And if y'all have any questions, I got my comments up today, so I can see them. Nani, can you see the comments?
I think I'll be able to. I don't see any as of right now.
Okay, I hope so. But I'm going to share them so that we can answer some questions as we get them. But yeah, we're gonna get started here. So first of all, let me just give a huge shout out to BGN Entertainment for providing this platform, allowing us to speak and reach the masses. It's been so much positive feedback from us just getting on here having conversations. Like, not really think anything that's really too formal, but just getting on here speaking and sharing what we know and how we're growing and what we're using in our healing journey in hopes that somebody somewhere may be able to use that. So yeah. Nani, this is her specialty as well. She works with herbs and food. And during our very first Mindfulness Monday, she was scheduled to speak about healing foods and foods you can use to heal the body, especially the female anatomy. And we ran out of time because we were chopping it up, baby. The conversation got good, and I wanted to make sure that we reverse and rewind back to that segment so that people could get that, because a lot of what you're ingesting and eating can play a part in your healing process, and even the way that you feel and having enough energy to even get up and take their walk, or say I'm gonna sit there a little longer for meditation, even have that mental stamina to be able to focus on your healing process. Food can really help or hinder that process. So Miss Nani, I'm gonna let you just take it away. I'm always talking, and the people heard me a lot for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up.
No worries. Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks again for having me on. And again, I'm Nani. I go by Nani Knows. That is my brand. And I specialize in holistic nutrition and conscious eating, lifestyle coaching, and holistic services of that sort. So, that's what I do. And we can just jump right in, pick up where we left off last time. We were talking about yoni health and um, different practices to create a safe and healthy environment for your womb space. And so I was piggybacking off of foods to support that. And also help and aid in the healing and wellness of the womb space as well. But these foods are also like, you use them for general purposes, for health purposes, for holistic diets as well. So it just doesn't pertain to only the womb space. But yeah, so a couple of things I want to kind of put out there. Your diet should change seasonally. It should change with the seasons. So when you're in the wintertime, you should of course be eating more heavier, more iron rich foods and green vegetables, healthy leafy plants and of that sort. Springtime, you kind of dial it back a little bit. You don't really have to be eating as heavy, but still nutritionally. Somebody left a comment. I'm sorry, I was just trying to read it.
Oh, it's Jordan. She said, "Hey, I didn't want to forget to ask this question. When taking herbal supplements, is there a best time of day to take them? Also, what vitamins can be taken together? Black seed, emollient, etc." Okay. You want to jump in on this one real quick, or you want me to hop in?
Yeah, I'll get my little spill and then you can give yours. And then yeah, we'll keep it going. So best time of day for herbal supplements. It just really depends on what they are and what you're using them for. It's like if you're trying to take something for insomnia or getting better rest, calming anxiety, that stuff like that, then it's better to take it at night. But if you want more energy boosting supplements, um, something to help you do focus throughout the day, memory enhancing, then of course you would take those in the morning. So it just depends, to be honest. And then yeah, there's a lot of vitamins and supplements that can be taken together, and then there's some that you can't put together. So you kind of just have to again know, and we could talk forever about the combinations. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint specific ones, but you just kind of got to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then get the herbs that go best with that, and then make sure you do your research. Like, just look it up. We got smartphones, so it's at our fingertips all the time. Yeah, but if you have any more specific things, then we could probably help you narrow it down.
Facts. I couldn't explain that, any more better or simpler than you did, Nani. I think that was a great explanation. It just depends on why you're taking the herb, because one herb could be used for a million different reasons.
Right.
So if you're like you said, if you're taking something, um, lavender, I'll take lavender for an example. If you're taking lavender for bedtime and for sleep, the dose may be a little bit more higher than you would to just calm and relax you to get you settled for meditation or for
Mm-hmm.
a post workout calm down or something like that, or for menstrual cramps. So it really does matter what you're taking the herb for. So it really matters about dosage. It really matters about interactions, any current medications that you're taking. So it would depend upon the individual. And for that reason, I would recommend, if you're not well versed in herbs, if you're not looking to study herbs, you just wanted to benefit off of their medicinal purposes, getting an herbalist, hiring an herbalist, and having them to be able to do an herbal assessment, because you are an individual. So there's no one size fits all. And when it comes to things about like black seed and mullein, usually um, black seed oil, it's so versatile. It can be used for so many different things. So it would really depend on what you're using it with. And mullein can be used for a number of different things too. Usually it's used for respiratory health and for getting relieving fluid away from a certain part of the body. It's a diuretic. So it just depends on how you're using it. If you're using it topically, if you're ingesting it as a tea, as a tincture, it really does depend. And the dosage, how when you would take it and how often you would take it would depend upon those factors as well. And Jordan says she's taking her notes, and another popped up. It says, my mom is diabetic and I'm trying to help her transition from a westernized medicine to more holistic. I know there's some things that are better than others at the best time. That is true. And if we sat out here and got a pen and a paper and tried to write out what Z said and Nunny said and try to, the best way to study how these things work is to get a baseline source of knowledge. So you can use these resources like Nani and I and be able to take notes, but you want to implement them into your own life. Meaning that if somebody tells me that if I take motherwort tea or if I steam with motherwort, then it'll help me with menstrual cramps. That's fine. That's knowledge that I have, but am I going to apply that? So I'll go apply it, and I'll, start with a dosage that maybe somebody said or recommended. And I didn't really feel nothing. So I'm gonna go back and maybe I'm gonna try this again. I'm not gonna give it up, but I'm gonna add a little bit more herb, and then I'm gonna experiment again. That is how you study your body. That is how you study herbal medicine. That is how you become in tune with what works for you as the individual, not what works for the whole. Because, like as you say, it's not one size fits all. And your mom, she's diabetic, so that's one factor that one has to take into account when they're taking herbs, is their current conditions, what type of medicines they're taking for their conditions. Are they looking to go straight herbal? Are they looking to mix pharmaceutical with herbals? It all depends. So what I would recommend is just to experiment with your body. Janae, what's up, peace? I love you so much. I love your new track, by the way. I got distracted because I just love you. You're amazing. Yes, check this sister out. She's an aspiring midwife, and she is also, we lost knowing, but I'm sure she'll be right back. She's an aspiring midwife, and she also is a doula, and she does so many different things in birth work. So I got to shout you out because you are amazing. But yes, Jordan, it is catered specifically to your mom's health, her conditions, to what medicine she may be taking, her health goals, and yeah, just being able to work. It's individualized, so developing an individualized plan with foundational plant medicine is how I would recommend to move forward, and also blood typing. You get a foundation. It ain't always correct. Get her blood type, what type of blood type she is, and what type of food she should be eating. That's a foundation. It's not all end all be all, because they said I can't have fish because I'm old. No, it does not mean that. It means that you want to experiment with your body and see how fish makes you feel, being that is your blood type. So experiment with the body, and definitely working those things in your life. All right, Nona, that was my spiel. Stepping out.
Yep, that was good advice. Very good advice. And I was going to touch on that too. Make sure that the diet is very important, especially when it comes to diabetes and things of that nature. So that's wonderful that you want to switch into a more holistic supplements and things of that sort. But please, please, please make sure that you're supporting her diet as well, because that's super, super important. So yes, back to the foods. Okay, so some of the womb supporting foods, yoni supporting foods. I made me a little list of things that I personally do for myself. That I have kind of based my diet around. So sweet potatoes is heavy in my diet. I know it's not considered an original food, but however, it does have very good benefits for us as women still. So I do like it for the vitamin A benefits in it, the fiber, as well as it helps me to like I don't do a lot of carbs, but I will do sweet potatoes. So and it helps me to maintain my weight. I have a high metabolism, and so I drop weight really fast. So sweet potatoes incorporated in my meal, you can eat them in so many different ways: breakfast, lunch, dinner. They're very versatile, so that's a good food. You want to make sure that you're also incorporating probiotics, kefir, kombucha, kimchi's, and stuff like that, to help your digestive system work properly. It helps to balance out your pH. It helps to balance out any of, like, if you have excess acid in your blood or in your acid reflux is a thing that I deal with. So I do a lot of probiotics and I drink a lot of kombucha to kind of balance that out. Cranberries, not the juice, because concentrated, you don't really want to do that. You want to eat them fresh or dried if possible. Um, because there's too much sugar when they bottle it and have to store it. And that's just part of the process. So you want to try to do fresh cranberries or dried cranberries for your pH as well. It helps also with your uterus, UTIs, any of that, any infections in your uterine area. It keeps that clean. Spinach, magnesium, inflammation, blood flow. Spinach is like a super green to me. Like I try to eat it with every meal if I can. I'll put it in my sandwiches for breakfast or salads for lunch. I'll throw it in a smoothie. You just want to, and it's really good source of iron. It also increases the libido and lubrication. So if you trying to have those moments, go get you. Don't go take shots of alcohol. Go eat you a spinach salad and get it on right. You know what I mean? So you can last and you're not tired and have the effects of the alcohol. Broccoli and carrots are also really good. They help to reduce in ovarian cancer, according to research and studies. Also, you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Water, the kind of water we have access to right now is honestly considered dead water. So you want to be making sure that you're consuming a lot of fruits, because fruits actually have the water that our bodies actually need. Like H2O is not actually the water that we're made of, which a lot of people don't know. But the water that's in fruit is actually the water that we respond to best. So coconut waters, watermelon, fruit, just consuming that. Again, there's many ways you can throw some fruits in a blender with some spring water, whatever kind of water you prefer, and blend it up, and there you go. Um, yeah, such as strawberries, bell peppers, citrus fruits. They all have vitamin C. They're really good for you. Um, so you should be consuming those almost on a daily basis. So to help fight your immune system and to fight infections, citrus fruits are really good as well. That's why you hear a lot of people, they'll do like the lime in the hot water in the mornings. I personally like to just get it all my supplements over with. So I'll make a herbal tea with different herbs that we'll talk about later when we get to the herb part. But I'll make a herbal tea and I'll add my lemon and my lime in there and my honey, and that'll be my morning. That'll be that's how I break my fast in the morning. So I do the teas, the herbal teas. Um, Flax seeds are really, really good. Also, the phytoestrogen helps with lubrication, and it also helps with balancing your estrogen levels. So as women, that's really important, because that's where you get into like the PMS area, and like every cycle you're like a Looney Tune because your estrogen and your hormone balance is imbalanced. So we can work on that with flax seeds. Bananas, potassium cancels out the sodium in a lot of foods that we eat. So if you're like a snacker and you're consuming a lot of salt, do we use sea moss? Yep, sea moss. I do. With sea moss, you kind of got to know what you're looking for too, because there's so many artificial brands of sea moss out here. So just again, do your research on that so you know that you're getting the nutrients. Miss Z, did you have anything to add for the sea moss?
I do. With the sea moss, I think that that is a great addition to a dietary supplement. However, my little one just loves to see me busy and he cries for my attention. So if y'all see me over being a mama too, it's because I'm a mama too. But yeah, sea moss I think is definitely beneficial. Okay, and then Jordan got another question too. It's gonna piggyback off of what you said real quick. Because I want you to get back to your points with your different foods and everything. I want you to have have the time to get through this. But sea moss, like you said, Crondus crispus is a. We have to think about the foods that we're ingesting. It's not just food. Even with the herbs, they are plant cesters. They are things that have evolved to help us on our journey in some way or the other. I hear people say all the time that that nature provides everything. It absolutely does. For every ailment or any issue that you may have, nature comes to combat that. So we have to know that it is really indicative to where you live, your environment, just like diet. That stuff varies depending upon what's going on. So things grow in different areas. That's why certain areas of the country, certain things don't grow, is because it really kind of caters to those people. So to not get on a tangent too bad, when Crondus crispus or sea moss, the people of that land were going through a great famine. And so ancestral energy came to provide nutrients in the form of sea moss into that specific area. So not all sea moss is created equal because not all sea moss is from that area. So I absolutely positively it has so many nutrients, just about all of them that we need because they are sea vegetables. They have your salt, your minerals, all of that is in the Z. It's the sea moss. And a lot of people who give me 1 second, y'all. Let me get the little one. He all over the place. Give me 1 second. All right. So the even with the sea moss and like I was saying, you just got to be. I got thrown off my little one, but you got to be really mindful of where you're getting it because again, it is it's called upon its healing powers for very specific areas for specific people at that time because it's what like these things are plant cesters. When people crave fish, they're likely craving the minerals that fish ingested from those sea plants or those that kelp or that sea moss and things like that. So long story short, absolutely sea moss is great. Just knowing where it's sourced from and trying to keep it in its normal form. A lot of people want to create gummies and all these different types of things. Well, that hinders. You want to keep things that you ingest in its more natural state. The more we process it, the less nutrients that we receive from it. So keeping it in it more of in its natural state is great. And making it safe to eat. We everything doesn't have to taste like candy and Skittles. It's medicine. It is meant to sustain the body, not to be tantalizing to the taste buds. Some things are, but sea moss is just one of those things that you just want to take in its most natural form, and also knowing where it's sourced from. And Jordan on here, she said, I promise I'm gonna hop up. I'll be talking, and I got to get her stuff out.
You're
Why
good.
blend fruits and veggies together? Is it okay to juice them? All right, let's go. I say juicing. I think about juicing, and I think sugar. You're taking out the fiber, only getting the sugar. So juicing can be okay depending on what you're using. A ginger root maybe just fine. But I think about juicing, it could be used as a cleanse because your body is going to use that sugar and those nutrients from that fruit really really fast. So people who juice, they'll go to the bathroom and it flushes out their system. Great for detoxes. Great for detoxes, but maintaining nutrients. And great also if you're trying to boost the immune system really quickly. But when you're talking about like a daily basis for nutrition, it could really play heavily on the liver because of the sugar content. So you putting a whole lot of sugar with not a lot of fiber, so it's imbalanced when you're juicing, which is good and sometimes, but not on a regular basis. Fruits and veggies, juicing them together, I would say depending on what you're calling a fruit and a veggie. Because sometimes some of the like zucchini and things like that, those are melons, and we call those veggies. So any melons, I don't mix with anything. you can look at the fruit. It's something called doctrine of signatures. You can use this with the fruit and the vegetables to determine like what this does and how it can work with the body. This is before we had books, Google, herbalists that actually sat down with books and took classes. We were in tune with the stars. We were in tune with ourselves. So doctrine of signatures, like I said, these things are plant ancestors. Their ancestors return. So if I take something like mint and I see it on a as a flower in nature, it has like blossoms and blooms that's white, makes me think of bronchioles in the lungs. They wide open. It's telling me that this is probably good for my lungs. You drink some peppermint tea and you stopped up, it's going to open you up. So doctrine of signatures is being able to look at a plant or a specific thing from nature and being able to see how it can incorporate or benefit you or not. You know what I'm saying? So that is kind of how I study a bit. But when talking about melons are big. They're huge. They take up space, right? They shouldn't be shared with any other fruit, because if you're eating a melon and then you turn around and eating another fruit with it, it's gonna mix together and you're gonna have the poops, because your body don't know what to do with all that. You done gave it too much too fast and you ain't getting no nutrients. You just went to the bathroom because your body was like, oh, what the heck is going on here? So I don't mix melons with anything. Cantaloupe, I eat a whole cantaloupe and that's a meal for me. I eat a half of a watermelon. That's a meal for me because it's filling. I got my hydration and I got my nutrients. Our cooked food provides very little nutrition. I was just talking to a mama right before I hopped on this call, and I was telling her how important it is to incorporate fresh foods and herbs into her diet, because the stuff that you crave when you're pregnant sometimes, like that piece of fish, when you really want that iodine and all of those different nutrients from those sea vegetables, you'll crave the fish and you're only getting minute amount, and then you got to sit there and filter out that mercury and all of that. So it's really important to get plants and fruits from the source. So doctrine of signatures, real quick. Doctrine of signatures. Fruit, watermelons, I don't mix. They big. They make you full real fast. You can eat them by themselves. They powerhouses. They full of nutrients. They full of water. It's a complete meal. You don't even need water after a watermelon. It's called a watermelon. And melons and things like that. And when you talk about your smaller fruits, your berries, apples, all of those things can be mixed together because they're smaller. So think about it in relative in being in relation to size, and how it would do in the stomach. So yeah, that's my long spiel about why not to blend fruits and veggies together. And also, don't just take my word for it, or not just solely rely upon a doctrine of signatures. How does it make you feel after you eat? Do you get stomach cramps? Does it make you feel full and satisfied and full of energy? Does it make you feel heavy and sad and want to go to sleep? Excuse me, that's how we study how food plays effect on our individual bodies, because we've grown immune to be able to tolerate certain things that people will sometimes even say is bad for us. I eat broccoli. People say broccoli is great for some people not so much. I can't eat broccoli to save my life. Me and sweet fruit would be up from now to kingdom come with gas if we had broccoli or cabbage or things of those natures, because they are water consuming. They'll fill up with water, and for some people they need that for whatever reason. Some people who's trying to wean from breastfeeding, cabbage, putting them cabbage leaves in the boobs, it'll dry up the breast milk. But if you don't need them for them, I need my breast milk. I'm making more. So I don't want those types of foods. And that's why we can't have an end all be all and say, well, they said it wasn't good and I can't eat it. Well, how does it work with your diet? How does that incorporate with what you're doing? Felipe said broccoli is GMO. Most of what we eat is GMO, but that doesn't mean that we cannot get benefits and nutrients from it. And now if you eating broccoli and it's causing you to go to the bathroom, giving you cramps or sending you to the ER or whatever, we don't want to eat broccoli. But we're not just going to rule it out because somebody said that. Incorporate it in your body. If you don't see the benefit, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you go
Before
ahead.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, before you move to the next question, I was just gonna add real quickly. Um Also keep in mind fruits and vegetables have two different purposes in the body. So you kind of don't want to mix them too much, because now you're confusing your body and how it needs to function and flow. Like Goddess Z was saying, fruits are to cleanse, and most of the time veggies are to support or supplement. So it's like you don't want to be cleansing out your supplements, so it's kind of like you just got to think of it in that manner, and it helps you if you do that. Yeah.
Big facts, big facts. And just like the broccoli and the cabbage and stuff, it slows down digestion. So if
Yeah.
you fasting and detoxing too fast and you got the poops and your stomach hurting because you maybe overdid it with your fruits or your juicing, you can slow it down by adding a vegetable. You can
Right.
slow because fruits are gonna heal you. Fruits are
Yeah.
going to heal you. Like you were saying, our water content is H3O, not H2O. A lot of people are like, I gotta drink so much water just to get hydrated. It's because you're drinking a lower vibrational water. You need fruit waters. You
Right.
need fruit waters because it contains not just hydration, but it also contains minerals and well, minerals. It contains nutrients as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we made of. That's what we
Yeah.
made of, not
And that's
H2O.
why it's important for you to listen to your body and know what your body needs, because it's like everybody is different. Like how you were saying, you can't eat cabbage. See, cabbage is an essential for my body, to
See?
help with ulcers and GI issues and digestive tract, having a history of Crohn's and colitis. That is, cabbage is what I use to heal that.
Mm,
So, now I don't eat it as much because of the gassiness and things of that nature. But when I am in a full blown flare up, like I've been eating cabbage soup for the last 2 days, just because it's healing for what I'm going through. Now, once I heal this, cabbage is going to kind of take a back seat.
mm.
And so that's why I'm saying, like, that's why it's important for you to know and listen to your own body and pay attention. Like when you eat something, how does it make you feel? How does your body respond? Because that's the only way we can't tell you. We can just point you in the right directions, but you kind of have to know and listen to yourself. So
Absolutely. And I think that's why people ask me sometimes when I'm when I'm coaching my clients on diet, they was like, well, what do you eat? I eat what I eat. And I've come to eat the way that I eat by studying my body. So it don't matter what I eat. I
right,
eat consciously. And
right,
when I get into things that I can't have, people, I don't want to discourage you
right.
because I have a very evolved diet. And sometimes it can be challenging because I come from the South where the food, it tastes good, but it ain't always good for you. So knowing that I like to feel good in my body, I have to balance out tasting good and feeling good because I still do have I still do have taste buds, but I've been able to retrain it with my thinking. So I don't eat the typical diet. My husband, you got a goddess diet. You picky eater. I'm not a picky eater. I just eat what works for me. And if that's
I'm,
5 or 6 things, then and
yeah,
that changes. That changes. I could eat some collard greens and pot liquor when I was pregnant with sweet fruit. Now that I'm breastfeeding, I can't do that. Green leafy vegetables, all that roughage, is very, very hard to digest. Just like mama in the postpartum period, newly postpartum, I went to see about her, and dad was making her some squash, and he was getting ready to put some cabbage on the stove to warm up for her to kind of make her like a little soup. I said, "Don't put that cabbage in there." I said because her stomach ain't even in the proper space that it was in when she gave birth. Cabbage takes focus to digest. Okay, especially when it's not like cooked to smithereens. Your stomach gonna have to do a little bit of work, and she ain't got the capacity right now. She just gave birth to a baby, and she's establishing breast milk. That baby's digestive system ain't mature enough to digest those enzymes that's gonna be passed over in that breast milk. So you got to eat consciously. You talked about sweet potatoes. Man, when I went plant-based, sweet potatoes was I ate sweet potatoes, fried sweet potatoes, barbecue sweet potatoes, sauteed, all kind of sweet potatoes, fresh. I even cut it up and was eating one raw one time, baby. I was in love with the potato. And then I went on a fast, went back to sweet potatoes, and them junks was fucking with my kidneys. And it was because I don't know if it was the sweet potatoes in that area, but I evolved from that food too. My body was like, we can't take that no more. Certain beans I can't eat anymore because I imagined that I had them in excess when I really didn't know how to eat when I was going vegan, and I maybe overdid it. Who knows? But right now my body say, hell no, we won't go. It slows down my digestive system so much. It gives sweet fruit gas, and it'll back her up, and it's just not even worth it. They taste really, really good, but we don't want to feel bad. And that leads me to say too, breastfeeding is a huge responsibility. Shout out to the breastfeeding mothers because your diet is more strict when you breastfeed than it is when you're pregnant. So I just had to put that out there and just show y'all some extra love because a lot of things that I used to like, I was the collard green queen, baby. Could not eat collard greens. Cannot. Still to this day because it ain't nobody trying to hear that hollering, and I ain't trying to be curled up in no ball from it. Yeah, I'm gonna back out. There you go, none.
okay, yeah, that was good. Um, yeah, just to talk about support foods, seafood to support a healthy lifestyle. Garlic is like I put garlic in everything. Okay. Garlic is so good as an antimicrobial. It fights yeast. It's an antibacterial. It's really good for your immune system. So, like I just suggest it's like one of your staples. You just put it in, put it in your food where it fits, of course. So, then nuts. Nuts are really good. Some nuts, like there's a handful of nuts that we should be incorporating. Almonds, cashews, what's the one that looks brown? Walnuts. Walnuts are really good for you.
Mhm.
Walnuts, and then they contain a lot of vitamin E. It's good for your skin. It's good for your muscles, and it's also good to help in delivery. When you're delivering, about to give birth, nuts help aid in giving your body support in that area as well. Um, we talked about citrus fruits a little bit earlier, but I want to go back to it because citrus fruits have flavonoids, which give you that WAP. Okay, it's a little secret. So hopefully y'all know what WAP is. I ain't gonna break that down, but yeah, the citrus fruits are really good. Your grapefruits, your lemons, your key limes. Now again, make sure that you're picking the right fruits. Like you don't want those big old limes. That's not a key lime. The small ones. Um, so yeah, and then for my coffee drinkers, if you drink coffee, coffee is just so, I mean, it has good benefits, but once they spray what they spray on it in the process of growing it, it just becomes really poisonous to our bodies. So black tea is really good. A switch is also supportive to the body, and it's a good coffee replacement. And you can add your plant based whatever to it to make it taste how you need it to. Coconut oil. Coconut oil is really good. Now, you don't want to cook with coconut oil. That's one thing I tell people. Like, you don't cook with coconut oil. You just use coconut oil as like a marinade or like a dressing, a salad dressing, or drizzle it on top of things. But you do not want to heat it up because it changes the composition of it once it's heated up, and then it no longer is filtered through your body properly after that. So, and then coconut oil is really good. I kind of use coconut oil as yoni oil sometimes. It's good antibacterial and antifungal properties as well. Uh, yes,
Facts.
ma'am.
That
And
coconut.
so
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that was my last one for my food items, and then we can jump into the herbs.
Cool beans. I wanted to just touch back on the vitamin C, those flavonoids. Absolutely. And when we talk about iron rich minerals, like we're gonna talk about the nettles, and alfalfa, thinking about one that's really hot, burdock root, yellow dock, those things that are high in iron. um Vitamin C helps those to be absorbed. So if you're combining it with an herb or a maybe a fruit that is high in vitamin C, it helps you to get all of those components and helps you to make that iron readily active in that body so that it is, able to be used in the blood to boost your the amount of iron that you have, I mean, the amount of oxygen that you have available in the blood so that you feel more energetic. Your hair is growing, skin is glowing, you're feeling good, you're looking good. That plays a key major part in how you feel is your blood health. So your iron, when your iron is good and you're eating foods high in vitamin C, they work synergistically to just basically enhance the effect. If you ever think about turmeric and black pepper activates the turmeric. So if you're taking straight turmeric on a spoon or with some honey or something like that, you always want to sprinkle some black pepper because it needs to it's a synergistic effect to help to bring it out in the human body for it to be able to be readily available and used.
Yeah.
Coconut oil, good Lord, I'm one of them mamas. I'm gonna get a shirt that say breast milk and coconut oil cure everything.
Yeah.
Coconut oil is one of those oils that, like you said, you use it as a yoni oil. You put it in foods. You can even put it in smoothie. What
Yeah,
was that?
I'll take I even use it to clean oral health. Like I'll take a spoonful, put it in my mouth, swish it around, it gets all the toxins out your mouth, the oils, the old bacteria, and then you just spit. It's like a mouthwash, a natural mouthwash.
It's oil pulling, Ayurvedic therapies, age old. This ain't nothing that we just Googled and pulled up out our behinds. This is real stuff. Age old stuff, and what it does is it pulls the toxins out. It's like an antibacterial and an antifungal, like you just said. So if you got a bacteria in your mouth, an abscess, a toothache, it's probably because there's some type of infection or bacteria overgrowth there. You oil pull, gargle with some coconut oil. You don't have to warm it up like Nani said. You put it in your mouth and it melts at room temperature, and you gargle it. I told my mama this one time. She had a toothache. She thought it was crazy. I ain't finna gargle no oil. That's terrible. She did it and it changed her life. So coconut oil, and it also anything you put on the skin is ingested by the entire system. So you put the coconut oil on your skin, it's ingested. So it has hydrating properties throughout the entire body. When you just put it on the skin, you get the benefits from it. So I love coconut oil for my hair. I eat with it. I put it on my teeth. I put it on my body. I put it all over me. And I also feel safe putting it on my children because I don't have allergic reaction to it. Highly unlikely that my kids do. Anytime I think about allergic reaction to anything or anything that's natural or in nature, it means that we need to detox. None of my children ever had issues with coconut oil. Very gentle. And it also is, like I said, antifungal, antibacterial. If babies get like yeast in their mouth or something like that, coconut oil is a great go-to. If a breastfeeding mom gets yeast on her breast, rub that thing in some coconut oil. Gonna cancel all of that out. Just the same thing with the yoni. It helps to keep down yeast. It helps to keep down any bacteria that may accrue when you're walking around or when you're sweating or whatever may have happened. Because we detox from the yoni. One touch bases real quickly on the coffee. I think that coffee definitely has benefits, and there are certain cultures where coffee is ceremony. It's ceremony. How I just would say, just see how coffee acts in your body and how it makes you feel. For me, I was an avid coffee drinker. I was a nursing student for a large part of my adult life. I was a nurse, a mama, all of those things. So I wanted to stay up and perky, right? I needed energy, and my iron was low, and I never even knew it. So I was drinking coffee to just basically give me energy. Didn't know I was destroying my uterus because of the types of coffee that I was drinking at Starbucks and things like that. So you got to know what you're drinking and think about qualities of things like that. Caffeine is a nervous system agitator. So you want to do that in moderation. And it also decreases blood flow because it raises the blood pressure. So if you got blood pressure issues, you might not want to be in Starbucks line. If you're trying to get pregnant, you might want to lay off of the caffeine because you need oxygen and blood to the uterus to be able to have a sustainable pregnancy. And if you're cutting that back with using caffeine because it constricts the vessels, it's a vasoconstrictor. So it's going to limit the amount of blood that you have to any organ. It's going to give you that boost. And for some people, like I said, it's very ceremonial. And then there are antioxidants in coffee too. So I would say just monitor your caffeine levels and see how it makes you feel in your individual body. It is pertinent on this journey. You keep hearing us saying this over and over and over. It is pertinent that you are studying your body because there's do's and don'ts, yeah, but you have to apply those things to your system because you have a specific genetic makeup called DNA, and no two peoples are alike. That's why when you're trying to find somebody who did a crime, you go find their DNA. You have a specific imprint that it caters specifically to you. So that is what you work off of, not off of. You can use things as tools, but you definitely don't want to say this is an end all be all and I can't have that. Janae, I wanted to just address your question. How did I know my kidneys they were starting to make my kidneys go haywire? Simply because my urine output decreased. I was hydrating and my urine was not getting any lighter. And also because it made my kidneys hurt. I do yoga, I stretch, I'm very active, and parts of my body usually doesn't hurt because I got blood supply and oxygen flowing, usually most of the time. So when something starts hurting, I'm like laser focused. That's a prime example of studying yourself. So my lower back started hurting in the area of my kidneys. If I didn't know A&P or what that was, I wouldn't know what that was. But you ain't even got to know that. You can know that, hey, I had a new food this week and now I'm getting these symptoms. It's probably that. So I went off of that sweet potato for about 7 days, did not have it, went back on just as a trial, and the same thing happened. So I came to that conclusion. This shit fucking up my kidneys. And so I came off of it. All right. That's what I had.
Yep. Keeping a food diary is helpful too when you're trying to figure out what's causing certain issues in the body. Sometimes you gotta see what you're consuming, and it helps. Creating and helps eliminate how I feel. So I really recommend. Let's jump on.
Uh-oh, you breaking up. Can you hear us? I think we're losing you. But she was talking. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. What were you saying? Repeat that for us because you were going out. I don't think it was like a network issue or something. Uh-oh. She was talking about the food diary, y'all, and she was talking about the importance of keeping a food diary, especially if you're looking to change your diet. Keep a food diary so that you can know what works and what doesn't work. Maybe you're eliminating chicken this week out of your diet, and how do I feel not eating chicken? Do I got more energy? Do I have less energy? What am I feeling like? So, and I was just letting them know about the food diary and how they could do the process of elimination by knowing what they're eliminating or what they're adding to their diet and how it makes them feel. You
Right.
studying you with these different foods, with these new foods. Miss Bird Gang says she loves garlic. Garlic is amazing, not for everybody, but for a lot of people it's very powerful. With people talk about vampires and all of that, is because it's an amazing germ killer. It is
Yeah.
an amazing germ killer, just like onions, they absorb bacteria. So if you cut a piece of garlic, it'll absorb bacteria from the air. You don't want to eat some cut garlic that's been sitting out, or some that's already been peeled and cut at the grocery store. It
Yeah.
does save time and convenience, but it does absorb bacteria. So you don't want to be ingesting whatever environment that it may have been in. You don't even know. So just
Or
go.
in your or in your refrigerators either. Like onions and garlic, they absorb toxins. So if you peel a cut an onion, like cover it up, because if you put it in the fridge uncover, it's absorbing whatever's in your fridge, like baking soda. So yeah, good fact, good point.
And two, like even illness. I remember my mama, when people would get ill, they would cut an onion and put it in their
And
socks
they
and put it on the
socks,
bottom of
yep.
their feet.
And it
And
turned
that's where,
colors.
yeah, it's what we release and receive energy in the tops of our heads and the bottom of our feet. So we're releasing that illness to the bottom of our feet, and the onions will absorb it, and it does work.
Yep.
And even if you're eating an onion, doesn't matter how you incorporate it. You see how I'm saying? Like you can take one element and incorporate it in your life so many different ways. An onion, you can eat it and get the benefits. You can cut it and cleanse your space. It may make you cry, it may smell a certain way, but it's absorbent. Those elements in the air that may not be pure. Or you can use an oil or different types of things. You can different types of ways to use one thing to be able to get the same effect, and that would depend on how much of it, or how often you would use it. Felipe says, what about grapeseed oil? Grapeseed oil is amazing. Anytime I'm sauteing or want to splurge a little bit and fry some stuff, grapeseed oil has a very high cooking content. Grapeseed oil, I believe in anything that I put on my body, I can put in my body. So I need to be able to put it everywhere. General rule of thumb with me. So with my oils, I like that the same way. So grapeseed oil, I use it for my hair. I use it for my children's hair. I use it to cook with. I also use for my skin and my face. It is so, I love grapeseed oil. Good high quality grapeseed oil is worth its weight in gold. You can do some stuff with it. You can do some amazing things with
Yes.
grapeseed oil. Somebody said, what
Yep.
kind of
Me
coconut
too.
oil?
I like.
You like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, me too. I love me some grapeseed oil. I cook and moisturize with it as well.
I love grapeseed oil. It's a must in our house. We got a big old container.
Yeah. Coconut
Um,
oil.
uh,
So I usually go for the extra virgin unprocessed. I like my coconut oil to come with everything it was supposed to. Like, don't take all the nutrients out of it. Unrefined.
Definitely unrefined coconut oil. Love coconut oil, like you said. But yeah, it matters what kind you get. Make sure it's unrefined. Try to get as organic as possible. Even organic isn't organic, but just do what you can, and just don't always go for what's cheapest, because you get what you pay for sometimes. That's not always the case. But again, trial and error. Maybe you got a cheaper brand that you can use that may work for you, that may not work for somebody else. Just got to use your intuition. Don't rely upon
Yeah.
anybody for all of the answers. Aaron said, would onions help with a toe fungus? What herbs would you suggest for nail fungus? So there are, depending upon what's going on with you. There are several herbs for nail fungus, but fungus in general, you can use something like a coconut oil or grape seed extract. Those are great things to use for fungus. Some people used to use Vicks Vapor Rub, and it did work for fungus, but the additives they put in there, the preservatives, I wouldn't give a dead dog. So I don't recommend Vicks. It works, but what am I gaining to get rid of this fungus? No, we're not working with that. That's not cure. So I would say starting with a coconut oil or a grape seed extract. But if a fungus is growing, there's usually an imbalance in the diet. So it's probably too
Yeah.
much sugar, too many carbs. So you want to start there, because if you clear the fungus and you don't clear the cause, some nail funguses can easily come from, you know, public showers or pools or shared spaces easily, you know. But some of them, if it's recurring, it's probably a dietary issue or a hormonal issue, which can be combated by cutting back on the sugar, cutting back on the processed foods, cutting back on the carbs, because carbs turn into sugar.
Eat your garlic.
That
Yeah.
I'm a fan of ginger. I'm a fan. Some people, it's
Yeah.
like I
Me
like garlic
too.
people and ginger people. I love the
Yeah.
warming, soothing effect of ginger. It works so wonderfully. Jordan just asked about inflammation, herbs for inflammation. Definitely ginger. Ginger helps with the inflammatory process. Burdock root. It's so many
Yeah.
herbs. You'll go across the country and see different types of herbs used for the same thing, different, even different parts of the world. And like I said, it's because it's, if I go to Peru, they're gonna have something for my iron, and it's not probably gonna look the same as it does here in the States. And it's because it's indigenous to the people that are here. And
Yeah.
so there's so many herbs that can do so many different things, especially inflammation. That's an easy one. But a quick way to eliminate inflammation is a normal immune process. One is in increasing hydration. When you get to things like arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis and joints that stiff and inflammation when it comes to like movement, it's usually dehydration. So you don't even need a herb, you need some water. So
Yeah.
get an herbal assessment and study your body and speak to somebody personally, or start to incorporate things in your body and use these tools to incorporate and see what changes you see, because it all depends on what type of inflammation, how long it's been going on, how it would be treated, and would you just need something as simple as sunlight and water. Um,
Right.
Castor oil.
Yeah.
Somebody said something about castor oil. Castor oil is great too. Castor oil I love to use in the pregnancy and postpartum period for various reasons. It can induce labor. I don't really like to use it, but you can use it because it can be a little harsh, make you go to the bathroom, but it's gonna make baby come because it stimulates contractions. Castor oil is also healing. If a mom's had a C-section, I do castor oil rub downs because it helps to mend and heal and kind of soothe the tissues. So I'll do, or they pregnant, I can do castor oil rub down. Just a lot of different things you can do with castor oil, depending on what you got going on. Um,
Yeah.
Grapeseed oil brands, it varies on where you live. Um, get what's best quality, or
Make
read the label.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Make sure you're reading the label. If it says anything other than grapeseed, you don't want that. You don't need
Mhm.
anything, any additives or anything extra. If you have to question it, it don't say 100% grapeseed, 100% coconut oil. You know what I mean? Then that's is not it.
Don't add,
It's
don't
pretty
you shouldn't.
simple.
Don't add this. That is so right. That is so right. And if you really want to get fancy, look at when it comes to refined, unrefined, organic. I say organic is best. Sometimes organic is completely ridiculous here in Florida to eat organic. You're gonna probably have to just, take up a couple more jobs. They're a little expensive down here. Joking. But I tell people, don't feel like you can't eat a certain food because it's not organic. Try to go for organic, but when you can't go for organic, then we use our magic and we speak life into that, because it's still food and it can provide nourishment, and we are sovereign over our body. So if I say that this is going to do this, then it can. But we don't want to get too lax with not picking high quality foods for ourselves. Certain people like to have certain like types of jewelry, certain types of cars. I want you to get familiar with treating your body right, not just what you're putting on it, but what you're putting in it. And I get like that about my food, man. I'm reading the labels every time. I ain't skipping a beat because they change them. And if
Yeah,
I
you
have to
have
spend a
to.
little bit more on grocery,
I was saying, yeah, you have to. I mean, this is the you only get one body, you know what I mean? So you got to take care of it and upkeep it. And if you start now versus like prevention is key. that's the thing. It's like we're doing all of this so that we don't have these ailments and diseases, and you know what I mean, and then have to try and fix those, because you don't want to
Right.
have to try and fix something. It's way harder to fix something after it's already happened than to prevent it from happening in the first place. And that's kind of like what these tools are for. Of course you can still cure, and you can still heal, and you can still do all of these things, but if you never have to deal with them, wouldn't that be better? So that's kind of what the idea should be about, like prevention, not fixing. Like, all right, what do I do now that I mess myself up? Like, let's not mess ourselves up.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And I like to
yep.
use the term an
Um,
ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, man. You wanna
yes,
definitely be proactive
yes,
instead of
yes.
reactive.
Yeah, I actually had touch on anti-inflammation. I have some that I wrote down to touch on, and I'll actually go ahead and give those since they were
Okay.
asked about, and then
Okay.
you can go ahead and wrap it up for us. And yeah, okay, so I broke it down into two groups. I have herbs that I use for cooking, and then I have herbs that I use for supplements, and tinctures and teas, and things of that nature. So the cooking herbs that you should incorporate are rosemary for congestion and anti-inflammation. There's mint and oregano, both help with menstruation and pain. There's dill. Dill is a really great antibiotic. If you have struggled with E. coli or anything that is affecting an infection in the body, dill will help with that. Cayenne is an anti-inflammatory as well, and it's really good to drain the sinuses. There's also cilantro, good into your body and help cleanse the heavy metals. This tea, joints, and depression. Then there's cumin or curry powder, which is and natural diuretic. It helps stabilize your hormones. Ginger
Nani, I don't want you to keep reading off the herb list and we can't hear you because you're breaking up. And I want to make sure that people can hear what you're saying because it's breaking up a little bit. Like yeah, it's the connection. And I want to make sure they can hear you.
okay.
So see if you can
Can
come
you
out and
hear
come
me
back
better
in.
now?
Yeah, yes, that's better. I can hear you now.
Okay. What was the last one you heard?
You were talking about I heard rosemary and then I heard Saint John's wort for depression. Did you say Saint John's wort?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Mint and oregano for menstruation and pain, and then dill. Dill is really good for antibiotics. If like it works almost as good as a prescription antibiotic if you take it and dose it properly. Um, People have treated E. coli with dill. Different.
All right, I'm gonna piggyback and she went out. Deal I use for quieting the kids. When the kids are hype, I'll either put some in the food that we're eating or I'll make a little small tea out of it. Cayenne pepper. Jordan said with cayenne pepper that it helps to she mentioned it. Cayenne is a powerhouse. When I send out my packages of cayenne pepper, I can't see Noni. I mean, when I send out my packages of herbs, I'm including cayenne pepper because it boosts circulation. It's a warm herb. So things that are warm, doctrine signatures again, is red. So it's good for the blood. It opens the blood vessels. Remember, I said caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. Cayenne is a vasodilator. It opens the blood vessels. So any type of herbs you use, and it helps them to push that stuff through, get it going, so that you can readily available. It's readily available in the blood. Here's Nani again, everybody. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. You can hear me good?
Can hear you good, loud and clear.
All right, cool. So yeah, let me try to do these real quick. Dill, did you hear the dill? Dill and
We did.
antibiotic. All right, cool. Cayenne, anti-inflammation and sinuses. Cilantro binds to heavy metals. It also helps with fatigue, joints, and depression. St. John's wort is a good antifungal, antibacterial. It helps with depression as well. Curcumin, which is in curry powder, is a good anti-inflammatory. Parsley is a natural diuretic. Basil is a mood enhancer, and it helps stabilize your hormones. And then ginger, we spoke about that many times. It's very good for your GI tract, and of course, nausea and motion sickness. Now the herbs that I personally like to supplement with are 5 or sarsaparilla. It's really good for type of skin issues, psoriasis, anything of that nature. Sarsaparilla is really good for us, it's antibacterial. It also helps with arthritis, and it has been known to treat syphilis as in accordance. Burdock root is like my favorite. It's a blood cleanser. It purifies the blood, gets rid of any infections in the tract, in the body. I heal when I was dealing with disease. Licorice root kind of got rid of symptoms I was dealing with, the oil, leaky gut, the indigestion. Licorice root is really good for. It's an antioxidant.
You're breaking up again. I want to make sure they're getting the herbs. I'm gonna make sure that, because I don't want, I want to make sure they're getting this good list, and we're gonna probably end up posting it in the comments because you're breaking up a bit, and we getting bits and pieces of all this good mental food.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll put it in the comments too. What I'm
Please, oh,
saying.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll also put it in the sacred womb healing retreats group so that we can have access to these herbs. Because she was talking about the sarsaparilla, she was talking about the burdock root and things of that nature. And I think those type of herbs that especially all women, but especially Black women, because of the hormonal imbalances and the way that we've been birthing, and the heavy menses, because that comes from stress, that comes from hormonal imbalances. So a lot of these herbs help to restore that, because we have women that are literally bleeding so heavy that they're literally bleeding out during their cycles, and then they have nothing to replenish that. So it's really important that we get back into these roots and these herbs to be able to restore the system from what is lost during menstruation. A lot of people have heavy Erin, let me know what you need us to repeat. A lot of people have heavy menstruation, and they're not doing anything about it. They just go through to get through, and they're not replenishing the body. Love Joy, I said, you said you have a question. Please feel free to ask a question. We'll be here probably about 5 more minutes. I'll set aside some time for questions to come through. We had a brief synopsis on the herbs, but we will include an entire list in the comments. So a few that I wanted to list. A lot of women now are dealing with anxiety, depression, things of that nature. A lot of herbs that I use for that, because people are turning to Western medicine. I am a formal, like this lady did everything. He was in the army. No, joking. I was a labor delivery nurse, and I was also in mental health for a number of years, in the prison sector and in working with the general public. And working with postpartum mommies. So it is real when we're talking about people dealing with certain types of depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. And a lot of people don't want to get on pills. They don't want to take these types of medication. So you have natural remedies. Lavender, chamomile, all of those are soothing. Catnip. Somebody said, I don't want to take catnip because it's for a cat. No, cats tend to like the herb. It's an herb from the earth. It's for everybody. It's not for cats. And it's amazing, amazing for calming the herbs, just like dill is too. Lemon balm, skull cap. Oh my God, skull cap works wonders, even for people who've had strokes or nervous system disorders. Things like MS, or issues where they have issues with like the nervous system or the brain. Skull cap is called skull cap because it works so well for that crown space. All of those are amazing herbs for calming and soothing the nerves. I have a calm your nerves blend that I offer, and it has all of those components in it. And you can get all of that from your local apothecary, very, very cheap, and it has really no side effects, virtually no side effects. Your body recognizes herbs because they can go pull them off the tree, and it's in its natural form, so your body can digest it wholly without getting rid of it or noticing it as waste. So it works on the mental health really, really quickly, as opposed to a pill that can take 6, sometimes 12 weeks to even start to see a change, but you're going to experience side effects immediately. That's discouraging to somebody who's already depressed or anxious. You're going to start a pill, and then you're going to get more depressed and anxious because of how you're feeling. That is not a cure, in my opinion, and it still may or may not work. Mental health therapies are about 40% successful on a good day. So yeah. Jordan said, any suggestions to restart menstrual? I'm nursing and still haven't had mine since I found out I was pregnant in 2020. If you are nursing, you're probably not gonna have a cycle. I've been nursing now, Sweet Fruit just turned 12 months, and I don't have a cycle because I'm not ovulating, because my body is communicating via the breast and the baby suckling, saying she got a baby that's nursing. Don't get this lady no another baby right now, okay? But when the body, sometimes that's not an end all be all now, because some people use that as birth control. Sometimes you'll still ovulate, but if you're not having a cycle and you used to have a cycle regularly, and you don't feel like your hormones are imbalanced, is because of nursing. And you need that energy to go towards nursing, because a cycle is a detox, and it's going to take energy, and it's going to take you're going to have to replenish from it. You need all the strength you can get while you're breastfeeding, because you're making milk, you're making magic. So you're going to have to keep that, and that's the body's way of just saying, let's let her keep all of these nutrients because she's making breast milk. So that's why you ain't had no cycle, very, very likely. Is there anything natural you can do for pH balance? Absolutely, positively. Mrs. Bird Gang, I will post as well. Yoni Essentials 101. pH balance can be altered either by your clothes being too tight, the tissue that you're using, the foods that you're eating, the water that you're drinking. I do private consultations, but you can also do this yourself by process of elimination. But I'll give you that list of things that you can try and eliminate, because it's usually dehydration, or either something you're using like a soap or a feminine hygiene product that can throw you off, or either some foods. I was eating dairy and I thought a discharge was normal, and it's not. It can be because the vagina, it needs to cleanse itself, but you shouldn't have a discharge 24/7, 365. No, that's because your body's trying to rid itself of something. When the vagina has a discharge, think about when the nose has a discharge, when the eyes have a discharge. If your eyes running all the time or your nose running all the time, you're going to think you're sick. So it's the same way with the vagina. If it's running all the time, then we need to tweak some stuff. So pH balance, I would suggest a great probiotic. Nani mentioned things like fermented foods like kimchi, kombucha, things like that are fermented. Me, I have those things in moderation because of breastfeeding and other things, but those things help to balance the pH in the blood and the body. You can also take herbs to help balance that, but the best way to keep your pH balanced is just implementing a lifestyle that is conducive for having a healthy yoni, hydrating the body, eating hydrating foods, listening to your yoni, having pleasurable sex, not incorporating all these toys, hoo-has, creams, and condoms and pills. All of those things can do that, even the way that we are bathing. So I'll include that list along with this live video so that you can check out and see, hey, maybe I'm doing this. Let me eliminate that and see if I can see a change. Multiple sclerosis is not a joke. Any good tips with this? Well, I will consider, first of all, diet, looking at any foods that can cause any type of inflammation, because multiple sclerosis can sometimes be looked at as autoimmune, the body attacking itself in a way. And that means that you're putting something in the body that the body don't like. So we want to just look at mind, body, and soul. Either that's a physical thing, a mental thing, or a spiritual thing that we need to try and play process of elimination. So we want to just flow and roll with that and incorporate herbs. Then people want to go straight to the herbs. Please don't do that, because you're just adding another thing in your body. And yet it may fix it. It may fix it for a while, but it's still there's still that dis-ease. You need to break that dis-ease and allow that energy to flow in whatever way it needs to. And you do that by really healing, not just if you're gonna just take a herb and not implement any lifestyle changes, you might as well just go take a pill. Well, no, not really, because the pill will give you side effects. Most herbs won't. But incorporate herbal therapy after you've tried altering your lifestyle, or incorporate it with lifestyle changes. But there are herbs that help. There are definitely herbs that help. And if you want assistance, please reach out to me. We can do a one-on-one. MS is a very complex disorder, but it is definitely something that you can definitely be remedied. And I know a lot of people have a decreased quality of life because of stuff that the flares. And there's something that can definitely be remedied. Like I said, nature provides cures for all. Yeah, we're gonna definitely hop back into the herbs. on next go around. We have a sister that is planning to join us soon. We're at this roundtable conversation with Miss Noni and myself, so that we can just all provide our medicine. You see how Noni come in with her stuff, I piggyback or come through. It's just a collective of knowledge of us being able to say, that's what worked for me on my journey, and this is my experience with that, so that we get broad perspectives from a lot of different people, because we are not 100% the same. Like, we all bleed and look the same on the inside, yeah, but at the same time we have different genetic makeup. We had somebody to just say this was good. I love for you to expand or have a class about energetics within the body. Absolutely, positively, is coming. Until then, we're gonna get on this thing every Monday with Monday Mindfulness to talk about energy in the body. Join us on Fridays when we do 0 to Zen. We talk about the chakras too. Like, we doing this thing, mind, body, and soul. We healing together. Each one teach one. Miss Nani, can you expand before we jump out of this thing? Because you was giving some really good mental food in this darn connection. So
I
please,
know.
everybody is on here saying they want to get that list that you were talking about, because it was some fire knowledge, some good mental food. So we're gonna make sure that we post that. But what you got for the people?
No, this was awesome, very informative. Love the questions, love the enthusiasm about us just taking our power back and healing ourselves. Like, it's just so important. I love to see it. So keep doing what you're doing. Let's keep pushing. I put it in the wrong section though. I did put out the list of what I was saying,
Okay.
but I sent it to you. But I'll drop it in the public comments as well. That's what I was doing. So yeah, I mean, any questions, concerns?
Y'all got anything for us before we hop
Yeah,
out of this thing?
anything
We got
else?
a couple more minutes for y'all. It's not to say we got a connection good. So if you got any questions for Nani, please let us know and come through. This was some real good mental food for me. I feel really, really fed. I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate you
Thanks.
so much, Goddess, for just presenting your knowledge and your expertise, for being open and sharing what has helped you thus far, because you help and you support many. And we're just gonna continue this thing. On Mondays, you can catch us here, Mindfulness Mondays. We try to get on by 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be having various people from around the country, from around the world, come in to share what they have, their perspective. This is open dialect. We encourage you to ask questions.
Yeah.
Jordan has a question. She has a question.
Okay.
She says, just ready for more. You all activated the things I forgot and enlightened me on the things that I didn't know. I say,
Ashe.
you
On
agree
that
with
note, though, we got a whole setup for you. Come check us out at the Sacred Womb Healing Retreat. Okay, we got a whole weekend set up just to teach all of this, up front, close and personal. You can pick our brains, So make sure you go check out the group, get involved, dropping knowledge and gems all the time. And if it calls to you, come get this knowledge on a personal level at the retreat.
Ashe. We have a few spots left. Thank you for mentioning it. I'm so freaking excited. We have a smaller one here happening in June. That one is definitely closed off because it'll be in a couple weeks, but probably a week or so out of the days of time. Lord,
Yeah,
you say, yeah,
it's
but we
fine.
will definitely have this one in Panama City Beach, y'all. It is in July the 15th through the 18th, and
Yes.
it's going to be amazing. We're going to be incorporating womb health, womb healing. We're going to be on the ocean. We're going to move our bodies. We're going to dance. Now they're going to teach us how to eat for our wellness. We're gonna make teas. It's going to be amazing. We have all of that information in the group. I will post it, repost it on my personal page. I really hadn't been promoting it as I should, because so many people have been reaching out privately. So we do still have some spaces available, but I'm looking for the collaboration. That energy is going to be absolutely positively amazing. Nona just clicked off of this thing, so I think that is my key to just go ahead and hop off. Again, thank you so very much to BGN Entertainment. Mrs. Bird Gang, I appreciate you. Thank you for always rocking with your girl. I hope to see y'all on Friday. We're going to do a yoga meditation segment in 0 to Zen, and we will be back here on next Monday. I love y'all to live. Take care of yourself so that we can take care of each other. My Facebook is Zamika Lockett. Because of y'all support, I'm able to monetize my content, y'all. So y'all gonna get some more Z. But I've never really done it for the money. I've done it for the people. I've done it for the love, and it just comes back tenfold. So I appreciate that because the overhead is real, dog. But it's okay. It's all love because I'm always provided for. So thank y'all for allowing me to just share this space, to share this wisdom, to be able to receive this wisdom. My Facebook is Zameka Lockett, Zemekia Lockett, Lockett. I have a group, a page on Facebook, Blooming Lotus Birthing and Wellness. That is my company. We do a lot of different teachings and things of that nature. You want to see what I do, you want to read about my story, where I come from, what I'm about, where this lady come from, what she do. Like, I do a lot of different things. If you want to read about all of those things, you want to meet our Blooming Lotus tribe, because we also certify labor and postpartum doulas throughout the country, throughout the world. I got an Antigua student that's logging in tomorrow. I got students in Bahamas. We reaching. Y'all, look. We do it all. That's right. That's right. We're doing this thing. And none of it would be possible without y'all. So I appreciate it. If you want to check out what I do, you want to read about the classes that we have, they're self-paced, they're online, but you still have interaction with me. I offer mentorship. www.bloominglotusbirthingservices.com. Please subscribe to my social media handles. I'll post those in the comments as well. Still learning how to do this digital thing, this streaming thing, but what matters is that the information is being conveyed. So on that note, I'm on the end. Take care of yourself so that we can take care of each other. Ashe and namaste. Be well, soul tribe.